Some trips are about reaching a destination. Others are about the journey, the people you're with, and the stories you can create along the way. This weekend was definitely one of those adventures. Welcome back to Southern Bakkies and Beasts. This Matariki weekend, 10 four-wheel drives set out to an unforgettable expedition deep into the heart of the New Zealand South Island. Our destination, McCauley Hut. Tucked away in the spectacular Macaulay Valley, surrounded by towering mountains, braided rivers, and some of the most breathtaking scenery Canterbury has to offer. What started as a weekend camping trip quickly turned into one of our most memorable adventures yet. We encountered unexpected recoveries, challenging river crossings, steep climbs, freezing temperatures, and one of the coldest mornings ever recorded in New Zealand. By the end of this trip, we had experienced everything the high country could throw at us. Traveling into the remote backcountry isn't something you take lightly. Every vehicle needs to be prepared, every driver needs to know the plan, and everyone has a role to play. That's one of the great things about traveling as a convoy. When you're out there, teamwork isn't just nice to have, it's essential. Our group consisted of 10 vehicles, each built a little differently, each carrying its own gear, but all sharing the same goal, a weekend away celebrating Matariki in one of New Zealand's most spectacular alpine valleys. For anyone unfamiliar with Matariki, is the Maori New Year, marked by the appearance of one of Matariki stars cluster in the winter sky. It's traditionally a time to reflect on the past, celebrate the present, and look ahead to the future. There's something fitting about spending it surrounded by mountains, away from the distractions of everyday life, with good mates around a campfire. As we left, civilization behind the scenery began to change. Rolling farmland slowly gave way to a rugged alpine country. Snow covered the surrounding peaks, rivers glistened alongside the road, and before long we found ourselves entering one of Canterbury's most beautiful landscapes. The Macaulay Valley lies within Hakatiri Conservation Park, an area famous for its incredible scenery, crystal clear braided rivers, and vast open landscapes. It's a place that feels almost untouched when nature still calls the shots. The valley itself was once part of a large high country sheep station dating back to the late 1800s. Today it's a favorite destination for trampers, hunters, anglers, photographers, and of course four-wheel drive enthusiasts looking for a proper backcountry adventure. One thing that's impossible to appreciate until you're here is just how massive the place really is. The mountains seem to stretch forever in every direction, with several peaks climbing well over 2,000 meters in the sky. No matter how good your camera is, it never quite captures the true scale of standing in the middle of this valley. Winter transforms the landscape completely. Snow blankets the mountains, ice begins forming around the rivers, and every breath reminds you just how cold the South Island can get. It's beautiful, but it's also a reminder that conditions can change incredibly quickly out here. Before long, the sealed roads disappeared behind us. Now the real adventure begins. The McCauley track follows the Brader River system for much of the journey, moving from one side of the river to the other. Every season is different. Heavy rain, snowmelt, and flooding constantly reshape the riverbed, meaning the line you drove last year might not even exist today.
Luchtensnatch.
After weighing up the options, the driver made the decision to commit and continue down the embankment instead. Now this is where confidence and vehicle control became incredibly important. Once you've committed to a steep descent, hesitation is often your biggest enemy. Smooth steering, gentle braking where appropriate, and allowing the vehicle to work with gravity instead of fighting against it can make all the difference. Fortunately, the vehicle made it safely to the bottom, and there was a collective sign of relief from everyone watching. Sometimes there isn't a perfect solution, only the safest decision available at the time. Watching situations like this is a great reminder that every obstacle deserves respect. Even experienced drivers can find themselves second-guessing a line, especially when conditions change from one weekend to the next. Tracks like the Macquarie Valley are constantly evolving. Snow, ice, rain, and river flow reshape the terrain every year. That's part of what makes exploring places like this so rewarding. You never really drive the exact same track twice. Here's an interesting fact about the Macaulay Valley. The river you're following is fed directly from the southern Alps. During winter, snowmelt is relatively low, but as temperatures rise and heavy rain moves through the mountains, water levels can increase surprisingly quickly. That's why checking weather forecasts and understanding river conditions is one of the most important parts of planning any high country trip. This entire valley also sits within Akatiri Conservation Park, covering more than 60,000 hectares of spectacular alpine country. It's home to rare native birds, wild landscapes, and some of the clearest night skies you'll ever see. On a clear winter's night, with almost no light pollution, the stars are simply incredible. Coming up next, one wrong slide, a vehicle leaning further than anyone wanted to see, and a textbook winch recovery that reminded us exactly why traveling with good people makes all the difference. The Macaulay Valley has a way of making you feel incredibly small. Surrounded by towering peaks and endless open country, it's easy to forget how far away you are from towns, mobile phone coverage, and the distractions of everyday life. Out here, it's just your convoy, the mountains, and whatever the weather decides to throw at you.
Before the sun could paint the hills, we packed the cruiser, chased the chill. Coffee steaming in the dawn, another wild adventure calling on. Gravel roads and river bends, every mile with lifelong friends. The southern Alps stood tall and wide, waiting there in the morning light. Every track tells a story, every mountain knows our names. It's not about the destination, it's the journey through the plains. Where the snow meets the sky, you can leave the world behind. Frozen rivers, mountain air, freedom something you can find. To McCauley Hut, we rode through the cold and through the wide, making memories that never fade, under stars that own the night. Tires carving through the snow, taking places few will go, laughing as the wind blew strong, feeling like we all belonged. Every footprint left behind, a tracks may disappear by spring, but memories outlast everything. When adventure calls once more,
Mưa đó khani wow, đó khani win chạy. Wow.
Another Friday, bags are packed, fuel is full, no looking back. Steel wheels turning, heading west, searching for the places less explored than the rest. River crossings, mountain trails, snowflakes are riding
Cái
on
này
the
với lại nít
gale.
chia sẻ.
Every kilometer tells a tale where the wild will never fail. No rush, no plans, no ticking clock, just frozen peaks and weathered rock. This is where we come alive, beyond the edge where dreams survive. We're built to roam through every valley far from home, over rivers, through the snow, to the places only four-wheel drives can go. The mountains call, the answer strong. This is where our hearts belong. No matter where the road may lead, adventure's all we'll ever need. The morning breaks on frozen ground. Silence is the only sound. Macaulay standing dressed in white, like a postcard coming into sight. Coffee warm in frozen hands, watching sunlight touch the land. Every breath becomes a cloud. Nature doesn't need a crowd. We're built to roam through every valley far from home, over rivers, through the snow, to the places only four-wheel drives can go. The mountains call, we answer strong. This is where our hearts belong. No matter where the road may lead, adventure's all we'll ever need. One set of tracks across the wide, disappearing out of sight. The cold can't touch the fire inside when you've got friends along for the ride. We're built to roam, every journey writes another song. When the snow begins to fall, that's the moment we feel called. Back to Macaulay we'll return, with every lesson left to learn. The road goes on and so do we, living life wild and free. Leave nothing but a set of tracks, take nothing but the memories back. We'll see you where the mountains rise, where the snow meets southern skies.
As we crested the final rise, the valley suddenly opened up, and there it was, McCauley Hut, surrounded by what looked like an entire four-wheel drive festival. Vehicle after vehicle lined the valley floor, rooftop tents, campers, utes, Land Cruisers, patrols, you name it, it was there. We later estimated there were around 50 vehicles already camped for the Matariki long weekend. Finding a good camping spot was going to take a little creativity, but first, we couldn't help but stand there for a moment and admire just how special this place really is. As we settle into camp, explore the McCauley Hut, light roaring campfires to battle the freezing nights and discover why this hidden corner of New Zealand has become one of Canterbury's favourite backcountry destinations. The hut is maintained by the New Zealand Department of Conservation and provides a welcome shelter for trampers, hunters and backcountry adventures exploring the incredible valley. The regional hut served the historic Macaulay Station, one of Canterbury's famous high country sheep stations, dating back to the 19th century. Today, the area is managed primarily for recreation and conservation, allowing visitors to experience one of the South Island's most spectacular alpine environments. Although many visitors arrive by four-wheel drive, the hut is also a popular overnight stop for hikers tackling the Macaulay Valley tracks. Imagine carrying everything on your back through this valley before finally arriving here after hours of walking. It certainly gives you a new appreciation for these remote backcountry huts. With the most of the weekend crowds heading home, we suddenly had Macaulay Valley almost entirely to ourselves. We explored the area, enjoying one of the best winter camping days we've ever experienced and make the most of a Matariki weekend you'll never forget.